Welcome to this Thursday, June 16th trade session with your host, Day FX. As we do on every Thursday, is we look at the market using the Enigma AI system. So if you are a free member or someone that is new on the channel, could be Elevated FX or Drady FX channel, welcome. So we're going to show you exactly how the system works. And if we have any setups using the AI Enigma AI system right now, we're going to look at the setups right now. If not, we're going to review previous setups for the week. And if you have any questions, we're going to be here to answer them. So we're going to start here in a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to make sure that the stream is working first. And if everyone has the actual link for it on our Discord channel. So all of our paid members here will have access to it, and our free members and our YouTube channel subscribers will be able to access to it. You're gonna have access to it every Thursday at the same time at 3 a.m. until 4. It could be a little bit later, but we should have a 1 hour session today. So just bear with me. I'm just gonna make sure that everything is good on my end, and we're gonna start in a couple of minutes. So far, we didn't have any setups here that was fired. So we're just gonna do a review overall of the setups for the week. And if you hear me, just type the number 1 in the chat so I could see that you could hear me and that you are here. You could say a little hi. That'll be appreciated. But we'll start in a couple of minutes, maybe at let's say at in maybe 2 3 minutes here. All right. So yeah, just type the number one if you could hear me. So we're gonna start in about less than a minute here. Right. So yeah, just type the number. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I'll just remove the feedback. So it should be good now. Perfect. So great. So we are going to start. So maybe type the number two if you could see my screen. So make sure that everything is working at in that end, and we're going to look at setups here overall. So what we're gonna do here is since there's no setup so far, I'm gonna maybe ask everyone to maybe look at pairs that they want to look at for the week. If not, I'm gonna start with a few pairs here that I saw here that was working properly here, and that hit some good profit overall. So first, I'm gonna maybe show exactly what's the system works, and we're gonna to anyone that is new here, and then we're gonna look at pairs. So let's see. Perfect. Okay, great. So I can see my screen. AUDCHF. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little replay on this chart, CADJPY, so everyone could see how the system works. And then we're gonna look at AUDCHF. Perfect. So I'm just gonna do a bar repeat. That was last week's setup, but it's only for educational purposes only for this time. Perfect. Okay, so the Enigma AI system is an actual. It's not an indicator because everyone thinks it's an indicator. It's not an indicator. Okay, it's a trade idea indicator. Okay, so you have to take in account of okay where we at in the market, if it makes sense to take it. Okay, and market structure. You got to add your confluence. You got to add your skill in trading because it's not a copy paste system. And then you take the trade if it makes sense to you. Okay, so if we look at CADJPY, for example, so we were going on an uptrend. Okay, and the 7th, I think the 7th, when was that? So that was Tuesday. Okay, it was a Tuesday. So right there is giving me an indication that okay, we're in a bullish market. We're Tuesday, so the market is moving. Because usually, me personally, I do not trade like Mondays or Fridays. I always look to trade the midweek. Okay, why? Because this is where the volume is the highest. Okay, so between Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, so since we have that, we're gonna just start the replay. I'm just gonna pause it here. Perfect. So your trade came in at basically at 1. I'm just gonna go back on our FX setup so you could see exactly what was triggered. So that was on the 7th. I'll go back. 9, 8, and this one, 7th. We said CADJPY. Okay, I remember that trade didn't trigger on the on our FX setup, even though it didn't trigger. I think there was an issue on that day. But when you put your own alerts, because you have the option, this is really a courtesy channel, as you all know. Maybe someone doesn't know or not, but this is a courtesy channel that we have on our Telegram, on our Discord. But when you set up your own alert, as so, I'm just going to show you exactly how you set up your own alert. So you just have to click on those 3 dots here when you're going to have the Enigma system. I'm just going to go back. Okay, there you go. Oh my god, there you go. You click on those 3 dots and you add the it's going to add the alert here. Since I have the master account, that's why it's not giving me the option. But you're gonna have the 3 dots and you can add the alerts, or you could click on here, add alert. Since I'm on a replay, it's not gonna give me the option, but this is how you set up your, and any pair you're gonna add an alert to is gonna trigger the signals directly on your phone or on your TradingView account if you're trading on your computer. Okay, so the trade come in on the previous candle. So that's the midnight candle. And at 1, you're going to receive the alert saying that it's a buy setup. And you're going to have your entry, your TP zone. So you have TP1, TP2, TP3, and your stop loss. Okay. So you have the option to, most of our clients, what they're doing is they're putting a pending order at the entry price, because the entry price is based on this candle and not the actual candle that you enter in. And or you could do a market execution, but when, as you could see, it triggered the pending order for a buy at that price. Okay, and that's what you're seeing right now. Okay, so let's continue. So right there, it went to TP1. Okay, depending exactly on the spread of your broker, you may have entered in this candle or this candle, and as you could see, it really triggered the trade right there. Okay, so within 2 hours, you're already at TP1. Third hour, yeah, TP2. Fourth hour, TP3. Okay, so that was a good setup. Why? Because of the market conditions and where you're at in the market overall. And on top of that, we have an option that is the fusion. So it's an actual indication of the actual trend in the market, and it's really a good option to add to your Enigma AI system, and it's already included here. So you have to toggle on or off if you want to, and that way you don't need to go to a higher time frame and make sure that you're in the actual trend. It's only giving you already the trend here, so it's giving you a more confident way to enter the trade, and you know exactly that it's a good trade to take based on everything that I talked to you about earlier. Okay, so first you have to look at the trend. So write it down. It's really a cheat code, a cheat sheet that you have to have here. So first you want to know what is the trend in the market, what day you're trading on based on the market. So usually Canadian dollar, is moving between Tuesday and Wednesday, and most of the currencies are doing the same. Okay, and then you execute your trade. Okay, so if it makes sense to you or not. Okay, with any other confluence that you have on your own. Okay, perfect. So let's close that. So target number 3, if you understood how to trade using Enigma, you could be a newbie or not, or an existing customer right now. Maybe you didn't know how to use it. I'm just giving you exactly the way to use it properly. Okay. So type the number 3 if you understood. So meanwhile, I'm just gonna pull up DCHF. Perfect. And we do have two version of Enigma. We have the version 1.0 and 1.1. So I'm just gonna, the first one that I have here is a 1.0 and 1.1, and I'm just gonna put the fusion off on both of them, because sometimes you're not gonna, because the fusion at the same time, if you didn't know, it's an actual filter. Okay, so depending exactly on the market structure, you may or may not see it if the fusion is on, because if, let's say, it's giving you a buy entry and you're in a bearish movement, okay, a bearish overall movement for the week, it's not going to show you the trade idea. Okay, it's still going to trigger. It may trigger the trade, but I don't think so, because I didn't tried it on my own account. But since I'm on the master account, but the trade, since it's not on the same direction of the movement overall, it's not gonna show you the trade idea. Okay, and sometimes it's gonna help you avoid those some setups that are maybe good but not that great. Okay, because the NMI is not 100%. It's not gonna trade. You're not gonna win all of your trades overall, right? So it's gonna be you just have to make sure that you know exactly where you're at in the market and execute at that point. Okay, so we had AUDCHF right now. So which do you have any questions on AUDCHF, or just want to look at the setups overall on that? I know we had a setup here that was yesterday at 4, and that was a pretty good setup. And shout out to anyone that took it, because it's at like TP what 5 right now. He went to TP 5 basically, and now it's turning. Perfect. Okay, just setup overall. Okay, perfect. Yes. Okay, so that was the setup here for this week, and that was a really great setup. Same thing as what I explained here on the CADJPY trade. You have, this is the candle that activate the alert. Okay, then this is the time that you enter the trade. Could be for pending or market execution, and that's why I say most of the time to take a pending order. Why? Because if you take a market execution here, that's a good example. This is the price is at, it was at 69, I would say 69.12, 13. Okay, the trade came in, and if you entered at a pending order, it's at 69.07. Okay, so you're already like saving roughly around 6 to 7 pips if you took a pending order, and your drawdown is basically what, 2 pips. Okay, instead of being in drawdown for almost 10 pips. It's a big difference in your risk to reward, and you're gonna be less stressed if you take a pinning order. Why? Because if it, let's say the price doesn't go in your favor, it's gonna minimize your risk. And let's say you miss the trade at all because it never went to your pending order. You just have to maybe go back in at the market execution, or if you see that it doesn't make sense to chase the price, you just leave it around and you just wait for the next trade to come in. Okay, but in that case, this one it triggered the trade on pending order, and then second hour TP1, TP2 on the third hour, then went back, and then and there was a continuation here. Okay, and if we add the fusion on it, I'm just gonna see we're off. Okay, so the reason why you didn't show the fusion, I'm very sure it was still bearish here at that point. Okay, it went bullish here, and that's why I'm telling you that sometime if you don't want to use the fusion, you want to make sure that you see all of the setup and you take addition on your own. Just put this fusion off. Okay. If not, if you just if you're on a go and you don't have time to look at the market structure and everything like that, just put the fusion on and you make the decision that way. But if you're like me and you have time to look at the chart, you could put the fusion off and see exactly where we're at in the market, if it makes sense, and you take it, right? So here we went to TP1 and then went back down. And another thing is not all of the trades that are the trade ideas that are sent out with Enigma will hit TP3. Okay, so you want to make sure that you take at least partial profit on your account to secure the bag, right? And make sure that in that case, like this example here, it went to TP1 and then came back down, TP1 again, and then would have stopped you out here since with your stop loss. But I always put I always take like at least 75% of my position at TP1, and then I let the rest ride, right? So that's like that. The other 25% is like a bonus for me. So if it goes like to TP5 like this one, I'll make like even more money. But at that case here, that 25% will be out, or at least at break even here. So that way I only have like 75% of my position, and it's still a win for me, right? So that's another way to look at things. This one it consolidated here. Basically, it lost, and like I said, it depends exactly on where you're at in the market. And this that was the week before, last week. This one only consolidated here, so and this one too, that's a loss. Okay, but if we go on the higher time frame, I'm just gonna put a horizontal line so we could see exactly where we're at in the market at that time. So here and here. And let's go on the H4. So that was okay. You see, that's the reason why it didn't went anywhere. Why? Because that was that was the last push up, and then that was the high of the week, of that week, and then it tried to do another high, but it never went past this one, and then consolidate it and then push down. Okay, so that's why I always say to look at the higher time frame when you take a decision with any trade. It could be with Enigma or your personal trade. Make sure to look at where you're at in the market overall in a higher time frame, and then you go on your lower time frame. You make a decision. Okay, and that's the reason why those two trade didn't went anywhere because of where we were at in the market. But if you took this one, that was the last push, and this one went TP3, and yeah, this one we have to go on the low time frame to see exactly what happened, but you get the point here. Okay, perfect. So that was it good with the explanation overall for AUDCHF? If you have another pair, just drop it. And another thing for the FX setup, I'm pretty sure some of you realized that there was no trade that came in. Maybe I think that was 2 days ago. We were doing an update on the channel, and that's why we didn't see any update, any signal fired in the FX setup. But the system did work on your own account. Okay, so if you, that's why we always say to people to set up their own alert. Okay, so you could put like maybe one alert for one pair only, or multiple alerts here for multiple pairs, and that way you don't not gonna miss anything here. So you're gonna push, it's gonna be pushed out on your trading view or on your phone, and it's gonna work. No problem, no problem. Perfect. So, okay, so let's look at setups. Just gonna look at anyone you want to hear trade indices or metal, because the Enigma AI system does work on those instruments too, if you didn't know. So let's go back 1 hour. One pair that I love to trade is the German 40, because I think this indice trades pretty good and has a lot of potential here overall with the movement. And as you can see, most of the trades here are trade ideas here that are sent out on the H1 are pretty good setup. And even you could go on the 30-minute and you're gonna have setups too. If you're not aware, you could go on the lower time frame of 30 minutes and 1 hour to look at setups. So this one, this trade, I took this one here, and I will explain you why I took it. So I was looking at this range here. This is it calls an imbalance here in the market. Okay, so it went to for uptrend here and then went back down. And I always think you're only gonna see, when you see those type of setups, usually it goes up to, and if it goes back up, it's gonna go at least 50% of that move, just to cover the imbalance here. Okay, so when I saw that and then I saw this down push, this is another indication that we're going down. This is an actual candlestick pattern, an engulfing candle after a last push up. Okay, this is a good indication that we're going to the downside. And then afterward, when I saw that, we had an Enigma setup that was sent out, and we're just going to do a replay here so you could see. Okay. I'm just going to close this. Oops. Well, okay. So we're still, I know that we're still, I know that there's some pairs that when you do a replay, you're not going to see them. We're still fixing that part because it's really a coding issue here in the back end. But on live market, you're going to see it. And as you can see when you're not doing the replay, you see the actual setup here. So we went to almost TP3 and then went back up. And right now it's I know there's some news here, so it's going down right now. Okay. Okay, so let's look at USD. So this is stuff that we had here yesterday on EURUSD. No, that was 2 days ago. Sorry about that. So so that was an a buy setup. And we're going to look at the higher time frame to see exactly if it makes sense to take it. So let's put a horizontal line here, going to 4 hour. Like I'm showing you exactly the actual thought process that I have when I take a trade. Okay. So where's the line here? Here you go. Okay. So we're in a downtrend, and then the market reversed here, started to reverse. Okay. So now you want to know exactly where we're trying, like the market is trying to go. And I'm just going to do a replay here. It doesn't matter to, I'm just going to, whoops, close that. And I'm going to remove the drawings. And I'll put another. All right, perfect. So okay, so every time that the market is shifting, you want to know exactly where the market is trying to go. Okay. And the best thing to look at is the previous market condition. Okay. So I always plot some horizontal line on where the market went the opposite way, like the opposite candles from the market structure. Okay, so I'm going to plot a line here, Oops. And here. Okay, so those are previous swings in the downside. Okay, so I'm focusing on this candle, this one, and this one. Okay, so let's continue with the replay. Perfect. So what I'm trying to find is, okay, is it going to try to test that zone? If so, I'm trying to buy the market at until that price. Okay, so that will be my take profit zone right here. Okay, so then I go on the lower time frame. But I'm just gonna continue the replay. You see? So I was expecting, I was expecting the price, the market to go back to that zone and then do make a move. Okay, and it reacted right to that zone and then push down. So if we go back on the lower time frame, and this is the first line, right? That I drew that line. So we go back on the H1. And we took that trade idea. That would be my take profit to get out of the market. And it tapped it and went back down. Okay, tag the number 3 if you understood the thought process on the trade. And as you can see, it went exactly in that region and went back down. Okay, so yeah, so that was the explanation here for your USD. If you have any other pairs, you could put it in the description in the chat. But we'll look at USD CAD. Okay, so let's look at USD CAD. So for USD CAD, if we look at the FOMC report that we had on Wednesday, I did I put a video with the indicators here, what I was expecting and what we were expecting for FOMC and where the market would be going. And I put a line, a horizontal line right here on this candle here, okay? Because there was an engulfing candle on the downside, and I was expecting to have the price going. I'm just going to show you exactly the pattern that I was looking for. So I was looking for a pattern like this. and go back to that line at least, and go back down. Okay, so that was the actual pound that I was looking for. Okay, but the price went higher. Why? Because there was still liquidity here to be taken, and then it pushed the price back down. Okay, and if you go on the 4-hour chart, you would see that we were at the end of a long bullish move that started at the beginning of the month. I think it was at the it was on the 8th here. So from the 8th until today, the price for USD CAD went back up. So that would, like, all of the buy setups here that was sent out with Enigma all smashed TP3 or almost. And like I said, and here it almost went to TP3 if you were still in the trade at that point. But since that was the end of the move, and as you can see, this is a good indication that the price will continue going down. So right now we have a push down and then it will go back up. So I'm expecting to have the price doing something here in this region here to the downside. Okay, so that's why you're seeing like almost a cup here. So now it's still going back to that region here. So I'm expecting to have the price going from here to here, and then continue to the downside. So we'll see how everything goes on that. All right, so perfect. So if you have any questions, just drop it down. Since there's no setup so far, I may be shutting this live down. So if you have any questions, just drop it right now. If not, in about maybe 3 to 5 minutes, I will shut this live session here. And I hope that everyone had a good week overall with trading. For sure, there was FOMC yesterday. So me personally, I do not trade the FOMC news. Sometimes what I do is if I trade it, I would trade it in demo, because you don't know exactly, you're not gonna know 100% the time where the market will go on FOMC. It could go up and down, and those type of candle like this, those are the candles that's gonna get you. Let's say you put a stop loss here and you enter for a sell, they're gonna stop you out, and then you're gonna go to the direction. Okay, so it's really buyer or sell beware here when you have FOMC. So make sure to trade on demo if you're not 100% sure of your trade idea and how the market will go, and eventually you're going to be an expert on analyzing where the market will go. Okay, so we look at the last pair. So GBP JPY, let's see, or let's go on USD. Okay, so same thing. So for this trade, same process. I'm just gonna do it again. Put a horizontal line right here. I go on my H4, see where we at in the market. So this is bearish. And are we at the end of a trend? Yes, almost. But this is the last push down before the market reversing a little bit. So go back on the H1. So that's a good trade setup. Just go back on the H4 and let's go on the left. See if there was any region. It's been a while that that region was not tested. Yeah, a big while. So you wouldn't have any like zone to know where the price goes. Okay, so let's go. Maybe if you don't see anything on the H4, you go on the weekly, and let's see if we had a zone here. Yes, there you go. So same principle. So you want to know exactly when you enter a trade, you want to know exactly where you should exit out of the trade. Okay, so same thought process. You go on the higher time frame. So if I don't see anything on the H4, I go on the higher. Could be the daily, could be the weekly. But right now on the weekly, you're gonna see that this is a reversal pattern. So since that time, it went up and then it went down starting here. Okay, so I'm expecting to have the price go at least at 50% of that candle. Okay, so 50% would be roughly around here. So I'm going to put a line right here and see if we have a zone for your take profit. So this one went way down. And if we go back on the H1, and as you can see, that would be my take profit. Okay, so it give you a take profit of at that price, and went back to that price and started reversing. Okay, so this is the actual thought process you have to go through with the Enigma system. You have to go to a higher time frame and then make a decision exactly on if the market going on the same direction, at what region it's supposed to go through, and you execute your trade. You put your TP, your stop loss, uh, and you're good to go here. And on top of that, we have a trade manager, so they could just put a pending order or market execution for that trade, and let the trade manager do the rest. Okay, perfect. So that's it for today. Since there's no other questions, we're gonna stop it right here. If you're not Elevated FX member yet, make sure to create your free account in with the link in the description box below. Or if you're watching us here on Facebook, make sure to go on the Elevated FX website. And if you're already a member, I hope that you enjoyed this session. And if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the Discord chat in Trade Talks. I'm just going to show you exactly where it is. So you have Trade Talks. Okay. So you have Trade Talks here on the FX Mastery section, or on the mastermind if you're on the FX Mastery Bootcamp. So the bootcamp is for members that wants to pass funded account using Enigma AI system. So we're gonna give you some pointers on how to do that. So make sure to have the FX Mastery yearly package to have access to the bootcamp. Um, so if you're not on the FX Mastery yearly package, make sure to upgrade that. So that way you're gonna have access to me, Dre FX, IT, our other educator, and the Asian Sniper. That is another great educator that we have here. So we're gonna have some sessions, live sessions here on every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're able to see exactly what we're looking in the market, and some pointers on how to trade. And if you have any questions, you're able to ask them directly right there. Okay, perfect. So is there any other questions? If not, we're gonna shut this down. And if you missed the start of this live session, make sure to go back and look at the replay. It will be accessible on the YouTube channel of EFX or the YouTube channel of Dre Day FX. So on that note, since there's no other questions, I will wish you guys a wonderful day and a wonderful week of trading. And we'll go back here, same time, same place, next Thursday for the live session with Dre Day FX. So talk to you soon.